From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening, Fairbanks, and thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight. Amidst all the talk of fire in and around the interior, it already seems like a long time since we were talking about flooding.
But not for our displaced neighbors in Galena. Meetings were held in Fairbanks this afternoon to give Galena residents an update and information about applying for assistance. The meeting, held at the headquarters of Doi Unlimited, took place with state and federal officials in attendance. Many of people who came to Fairbanks from Galena in May after the flood are still here as they wait for homes to be repaired or replaced. Today's meeting was the first public event held in Fairbanks since the Federal Emergency Management Agency took over management of the 2013 Yukon River flooding disaster.
The purpose of this meeting is to give Galena residents that were evacuated to Fairbanks the opportunity to meet with some of the state and federal folks, and also talk to some of the people that have been organizing volunteers, and give those evacuated residents information on what's taking place and what are some of the recovery options that they have.
These families have been split up. They were forced out of their homes well over a month, and families have been forced to live apart from each other in different areas, in shelters. It's a very tough situation for them, and we want to come in and at least hear their questions, tell them about the programs we have to offer, and let them know some progress that we've been making together with the state.
Now, we will have more on this story this weekend on the Saturday editions of the Fairbanks Evening News and News Center Final.
United States Army Alaska has been working in conjunction with Garrison and the Army National Guard to help control the Stewart Creek 2 wildfire that is now over 80,000 acres. The latest on the fire is that it is 15% contained, which is an increase from late last evening. Fingers have been pointed at USARAC for starting the fire with live artillery training done in the Yukon training area during high fire conditions, which Garrison Commander Colonel Ronald Johnson confirmed at a public meeting. The News Center spoke to USARAC Public Affairs about their investigation into the matter.
U.S. Army Alaska isn't able to make an official determination on what exactly caused the fire. Our focus is still putting out the fire and making sure that everybody can move home safely to their homes. Then the danger is over. Once the fire is out, we're definitely going to conduct a very thorough review using all the information that we can gather to determine exactly what happened. There's a lot of information. It's going to take some time to review, and we want to get this right, and we owe the public, the right determination. There's some early indications that this indeed was related to artillery training at the Yukon training area. That is true. However, having not had the time to look at all of the information and review everything thoroughly, we can't make an official determination yet.
The state of Alaska is trying to advance a multi-year plan to determine the oil and gas potential in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. It's a proposal that Interior Secretary Sally Jewell recently dismissed as prohibited under federal law. Natural Resources Commissioner Dan Sullivan said under the Alaska National Interest Lands Conservation Act, the Secretary must approve an exploration plan if it meets the necessary requirements. He and Governor Sean Parnell argue the plan proposed by the state does. Jewell, in a letter to Parnell dated June 28th, said the exploration authorization expired in the 1980s.
All right, and Daryl, of course, we have to mention that an evacuation watch is still in effect for miles 16 to 32 of Chena Hot Springs Road. But hopefully the weather
will cooperate with the firefighting efforts. Mike Schultz joins us now with a look at that weather. Mike?
Well, guys, I think it's going to get definitely better and better because we are looking at a showery regime for the next couple of days. In fact, showers kind of moved through last night. We talked about that. We're looking at some showers. Latest on the radars, you can indicate here. We'll zoom in around the Fairbanks area and show you there's a pretty good band of showers that's moving from the southwest, or actually from the west to the east, and some of that should be passing through the Fairbanks area, and especially across the Chena Ridge Road area and around the fire that's going on right now. So that'll help dampen things down quite a bit. And then we're looking for a good weekend. We'll talk more about that, and we'll talk about lower 48 weather that talks about lots of hot temperatures. All that coming up later on. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Mike. When we come back, a Fairbanks man pleads guilty to manslaughter.
And we talk about guns. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. Although Alaska's Senate Bill 21 recently passed through the state legislature, now there is a campaign to try and recall the bill through a petition. Today at the weekly Chamber of Commerce luncheon, a panel made up of interior Republican members of the state legislature addressed the gathering of business leaders. In a unanimous show of support, the 5-member panel stated that since the bill's passing, several oil companies have shown their support by reinvesting back into the state through more exploration and job opportunities. The panel believes this could be in danger if the petition now circulating results in the bill being recalled. They say SB 21 is solid.
It also addresses a committee that will be put together so that somebody will be looking at this to make sure that we got it right. It's not just the legislature just changed the taxes, but we have an expert committee who will be overseeing that. And the other portion of it is now we will be giving credits to those who produce new oil barrels, new barrels of oil. The way we had the tax credits before, they just had to spend money, and they did it on maintenance, and that didn't give us more oil down the pipeline.
Also on the agenda today at the chamber meeting was a substantial presentation from Sumitomo Pogo to the University of Alaska Fairbanks School of Mines. The check for $1,059,000 will be dedicated toward the graduate student research in mining program. Today's check was similar to the $1 million check the corporation donated in 2011.
Sumitomo's donation, and this is the second donation they've made, supports graduate education at UAF. So it really gets into those students who are going to be involved in the next generation of mining projects and in extending mining for another 90 years in Alaska.
A 21-year-old Fairbanks man has pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the death of 2 years ago of a 55-year-old acquaintance after an argument. Cornelius Everett Jr. was scheduled to go on a trial Monday on charges of second-degree murder. He instead reached an agreement with prosecutors that calls for accepting a 15-year prison term in the death of Johnson Griffin. Griffin in June 2011 was found dead in his Northward Building apartment. A medical examiner determined Griffin died of blunt force trauma to his chest. Investigators say Everett and Griffin got into an argument and Everett assaulted Griffin. Everett will be sentenced in October.
Fairbanks North Star Borough employees would be allowed to carry firearms on the job under an ordinance being considered by the Borough Assembly. Assemblyman Lance Roberts proposed the ordinance and says it's a matter of safety. He says the current gun ban leaves employees unable to defend themselves. Mayor Luke Hopkins is strongly opposed to armed employees. Hopkins says it's not what he wants in the borough workplace. Borough Human Resources Manager Sally Stuvik says the measure would increase liability and insurance rates. The proposed ordinance will be considered at an assembly meeting Thursday night.
The Alaska Redistricting Board has adopted a new map that appears to resolve the major problems raised in a lawsuit over an earlier map. But an attorney for the Fairbanks area residents who brought that lawsuit said the plaintiffs need to do a full analysis before deciding what to do. The board plans to meet Sunday to consider final adoption of the map. The plan then would be submitted to the court for approval. Additional challenges could be filed, but board attorney Michael White believes the latest plan meets constitutional muster. He said it's the best plan for Alaska voters. The Alaska Supreme Court ordered the board to redraw the map for the 2014 elections after allowing an interim map to be used last year.
A unique treatment could help some patients with chronic sinus infections breathe a little easier. It uses a tiny balloon and has less risk than the standard sinus surgery that more than 300,000 Americans undergo every year. News Center 11's Monty Bowen has more in this week's Health Report.
76-year-old Harleen Palkuti says for years she suffered from chronic sinus infections that left her feeling lousy.
And I'd get an infection, and then I'd get some antibiotics to take it away for a few weeks, then come back.
Palkuti says she tried medications, nasal sprays, saline solution, even homeopathic remedies. Nothing worked.
Their sinuses aren't working. They have occlusion of the drainage pathways, and their nose isn't functioning normal.
Palkuti's doctors suggested a new treatment that's performed right in the office, where doctors insert a small balloon into the sinuses.
It blows up and it literally fractures the bone, and then it heals open, and that's why it lasts.
Palkuti underwent the procedure a few months ago. She says her sinuses have been clear ever since.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
Joe, busy night in sports?
We'll see. Gold Panthers play tonight. Well, hopefully the rain will stay away for most of that tonight. So hopefully we get a game in, but we have some basketball news coming up. The UAF team completes their recruiting class. We also have some info on an upcoming triathlon, but first we're going to go to Joe T. Court out of the break as the team prepares to take flight. Stay tuned for sports. Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook in the sports seat once again, bringing you some sports for this Tuesday evening. Today, Joe T. Court was the site for a team coming together to improve themselves and hopefully get recognized for it. The Alaska Flight basketball team, comprised of some of the best high school basketball players in the state under 17 years of age, had practice early this afternoon. There are two teams, a 17 and under squad and a 16 and under team. They have 8 days of two-a-day practices as they prepare for a trip to Las Vegas for two tournaments. The players will be in the Las Vegas Live Tournament on July 17th to the 21st and the Las Vegas Classic the 24th through the 28th. They will play some of the best players in the country in front of college coaches and scouts. There's a good mix of local and state talent. Kyle Carlson is one of 3 Malamutes, as well as Christian Nickerson, Jalen McCullough, and Connor O'Kelly-Alt of the Rams coming off their state championship. The athletic Tyrus Morgan represents the Klowak Chieftains, and J.D. Zamura and Theo Ogahadi, who is from London, play for West High School. For these players who are representing the various regions of the 49th state for the Alaska Flight, it's all about getting exposure and improving their overall games.
We have really good coaches that teach us a lot of stuff about the right drills that we should do on our own and as a team as well. So I think overall trying to get my game improved over the summer and hopefully move on forward.
I'm looking forward to just going down to the tournament and hopefully winning games and like having college coaches see everybody and hopefully everybody getting the chance to like go play for a college that they want to, and so that's what I'm most looking forward to.
We're trying to do kind of leadership training here with these guys, so they all do this stuff here and then go be leaders on their high school teams. And you know, typically when we do this, we see these guys at the state tournament next year being leaders of their high school teams, being captains of their high school teams.
The Nenix women's basketball team has completed its 2013-2014 recruiting class. Recently, head coach Cody Berger's bench and Victoria Milton, a 5'5" guard from Lansing, Michigan, who signed a national letter of intent to play for UAF. Milton of Waverly High School is a 2-time Lansing State Journal Player of the Year, a 2-time All-State honoree, and a 3-time All-Conference selection. Milton led 2 20-win teams to 2 conference championships. Her high school career stat line is 15.8 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals per game. Milton was also an outside hitter in volleyball and a discus and shot put thrower in track and field. She plans to major in business administration. The class is basically guards and forwards. Milton completes an incoming class that includes guards Autumn Childers, Candace Presswich, and Ashlyn White. The forwards in the class are North Pole's Josie Broderick, Delisa Chapman, and Soldotna's Kaylee Jold, and Jordan Wilson. In some final UAF news, there has been an addition to the cross-country team. Joey Nunez will join the cross-country staff as a coaching intern for the upcoming season. Nunez comes from Northwest Missouri State, another Division II program, as a grad assistant. There, he assisted in just about every facet of the team, from coaching, keeping stat books, and booking hotels. He is one of the best runners in Cal State Stanislaus history at the D2 program. Nunez is 3rd all-time in the 5,000 meters. He's also top 10 all-time in the 10,000 and 1,500 meters. He's a 4-time all-conference runner and has 2 track and field and cross-country titles. And you might need an extra pair of legs from the actual Ironman to get through this. It's the only half Ironman triathlon in Alaska, and the deadline to register is tomorrow. If you want to try and complete this Saturday's 22nd annual sourdough triathlon and Shishakwa relay, hit up Michael Golub. His contact info is on Webster11.com sports page. Triathlon consists of a 1.2-mile swim, 56-mile bike leg, and a 3.1-mile run. Relay teams are still being put together, and they can complete 1 or 2 legs. Their entry fee is $50. The triathlon starts at 10 a.m. at the gravel pit at the 31-mile mark on the Steese Highway. That's actually 10 miles closer to Fairbanks this year. The transitions between stages will also be at that location. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. For more KTVS Sports, just go to Twitter, YouTube, Webster11.com. You can also get our mobile app. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back to Fairbanks Evening News, everyone. Mike Schultz with you once again, taking a look at the weather, and we are looking at showers out there. We saw them on the radar, and the latest indicator is that there are more showers moving our direction, so don't be surprised to see a few drops falling tonight. And like I said, that helps the fire situation. Our photograph tonight, sent in by Bill Cody. This is Rainbow Mountain. I'm not quite sure where it's at, but that's a beautiful photograph, and as you can see, just some gorgeous colors there. Again, if you have a photograph to share with us, by all means, send it to me at MikeSchultz@KTVF11.com. Our number is 64 degrees. That's our high for the day, and the current temperature, the low last night, 49. Record high, 87. That was set in 1915. Record low, 38, 1934. Their sunrise, 3:36 this morning. The sun sets 12:17 tomorrow morning, giving us 20 hours and 44 minutes of daylight. That's a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. Here's our satellite picture. Again, you can see the circulation in the atmosphere all counterclockwise, still bringing a lot of moisture down from the northwest and also helping to rotate some of this moisture in from Canada. So that's where we're going to keep the instability in the atmosphere going on, and showers for the next couple of days, which will definitely help the fire situation. What's going on across the rest of the state? It is raining around the Juneau area. We have lots of sunshine over the Gulf of Alaska, down from Kodiak to, or from Anchorage to Kodiak. Nice sunshine over the southwest part of the state. And then cloudy skies once again on the north slope at Barrow, and also cloudy skies today at Fort Yukon, 64 degrees there. Lower 48 weather, again, warm temperatures, 99 degrees at Salt Lake City, 97 in Denver, 95 in St. Louis, and Dallas, 100 degrees. A lot of hot temperatures everywhere you look on the satellite and radar. You see once again some showers and thunderstorms rolling rapidly across the Central Plains into the Great Lakes. Another band breaking out, I should say, across the Central Plains, and a little of activity moving across the Pacific Northwest. Now the hot temperatures once again will continue across much of the Southwest as a high pressure will strengthen, and the overall outlook for the jet stream once again way up to the north, allowing all that warm air to come up from the south and humid conditions over the southeast. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Our northern sections, clouds and fog for Barrow, mostly sunny skies in Nome, and showers and smoke again for the Fort Yukon area. Here in the interior, we'll have a mixed bag of showers and smoke for Fairbanks, maybe some thunderstorms around the Healy area. Over southeast Alaska, more dreary weather there. Showers for Juneau and Ketchikan, out to the southwest. Cloudy skies at Cold Bay, a few clouds at Bethel, and sunny skies expected for Kodiak Island. If you're heading down the Anchorage Bowl area, you might want to take an umbrella, looking at a few scattered showers here and there for Anchorage and Valdez, but becoming partly cloudy in the Homer area. All right, here's our forecast for the remainder of the night. Like I said, showers in the forecast all the way into the morning hours. 50 degrees, the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, looking at kind of cool, 63 degrees. More rain showers and, like I said, cooler temperatures. And the extended forecast calling for a rebound on the temperatures by the weekend. As you can see, we're looking at 70 degrees to 72 degrees for the overnight, or for the daytime highs. Overnight lows right around 50 degrees once again. And we'll carry some showers into possibly Thursday or Friday. But after that, things look really good for the weekend and heading into the first part of next week, too. Well, like I said, the showers are really helping out on the fire situation, and bring them on. That's what I say.
Bring them on.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Very good. Oh, well, that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams is coming up next.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
And that will do it from all of us here at the News Center. Have a good night. We'll see you back here at 11.
Good night.